Welcome back to my page, Dr. Okoya Ebasi. The next value chain we want to consider as businesses that are more lucrative than most of the oil and gas businesses that we are doing today is the poultry value chain. Now, poultry production in Nigeria is a very lucrative business. The demand for poultry meat in Nigeria is so high that the local production, what we are producing today as a country, is just meeting up the 30% of our requirement for poultry meat and egg in Nigeria. And now, because of that, we found out that a lot of the poultry meat we required is gotten from other countries, nearby countries around us. So there is a very lucrative area that businessmen can look into, considering the fact that poultry meat production, broiler production is just 12 weeks, 3 months. Now, a business that will just take you 3 months to make your profit, it's a good business. You can do it 3, 4, 5 times a year. You can do it 3 times a year because 3 months they are ready. Sometimes it is even less than 3 months, depending on the industry that is looking for the poultry meat. If it is the eateries, by 6 weeks, 8 weeks, they are already matured enough for them that they can use it for their production, for the preparation of the kind of food they need. But if it is for festivals like Christmas and Easter periods, then you can keep it for 12 months. Now, this is an area that if you look at if you do the analysis, you will see that it's very profitable. Because one bed, the one I bought last time during the Christmas, I bought it almost 20-something thousand. And the man said it's just because of me, that is why he's giving to me at 20,000. Now, if you raise beds, 1,000 beds in a poultry farm, and then you rear it to maturity, and you are selling them, let's say 15,000 per bed, and that is the least you can get in any poultry farm, and you are selling it 15,000 per bed, and then you raise 1,000 of them, you are talking about 15 million. This one we are talking about a period of 3 months. The only challenge that is there is the cost of the feeding. And the cost of feeds, if you are rearing in large quantities, you can decide to produce the feeds yourself. So these are areas that are very silent but very lucrative, that people are not looking to eat. In 12 months, if you rear 1,000 birds and you are getting 15 million, even if you spend 10 million to buy feeds and do the other running costs and expenses, you still have 5 million. How many businesses can you do that will give you 5 million in 3 months? It is very rare. So these are lucrative businesses that are just within us, within our reach, and the demand is high. Because poultry meat, even the local demand, we have not been able to meet it. It also has export value. So you find out that these are areas that businessmen, state governments, local governments, and private investors can really look into it and make good money. Now, that is just for the birds. If you are talking about the eggs, it's another lucrative area. One egg today now is 250 naira. So a crate of egg is going for almost 6,000 or so, or 7,000 as the case may be. Now, if you have 1,000 birds and they are laying 1,000 eggs every day, you know how much you are going to get in a month. So we want to encourage people to look at the poultry sector and also invest in this sector, because it is very lucrative and very profitable. And these are stable sources of, they are stable businesses that when you go into it, you know, the prices are not fluctuating. The demand is constant. Every day people are eating eggs. Every day the demand is there. The market is there. The population is growing. Even to meet up the demand is going to be a challenge. And this, one thing about the poultry business is that the infrastructures are not too much. All you need is a poultry house and then the equipments, and you are done. The other things, the other major thing that you may require is the feeding, which can also be taken care of if you are into large quantities, or if you combine with other producers and then People set up small production mills and then you can produce your feeds locally. Next value chain we want to look at is snail production. It's another lucrative area. Now, naturally, we find these snails in our forest. Every time we need snail, we go to the forest and we pick them. And as the population is growing and the demand is increasing, these natural ones that we used to pick from the forest here and there are no longer there. They are getting extinct and the prices are going high on a daily basis. The price of one snail now, if you go to the market and price an average snail, is between the cost of 250 to 800 naira, depending on the size. And if it is prepared in the restaurant for you, you cannot get it anything less than 1,000 and 1,005. Now, if you are rearing snail and one snail will give you 500 naira, if you rear 1,000, 2,000 of that snail, you will find out that you will make a lot of profit. And the good thing about snail is that the feeding cost is very low. The infrastructures, the housing, and other things that are needed to rear snails are very minimal. You can rear snails almost everywhere. You can even rear them in a small land where the grasses are still there, and then you just prepare it in such a way that can keep the snails confined. So the infrastructural demand for snainery is very small. The feeding is very small, it's very low. The cost of feeding is low because it can feed on almost all types of waste like rotten pawpaw, vegetables, cucumber, watermelon, all these fruits that are rotten. You can always get them from the sellers in the market, and then you use it to feed your snails. And the returns when you are into snail production, the returns are very high. So we want to encourage people to look at these areas that are looking at us. The demand for snail in Nigeria today is very high. People can no longer even afford, so it's only even the rich that is eating snail today. It's not like in those days where snail, everybody eats snail. Now it's not everybody that eats snail because of the high cost. The demand is very high and the supply is low because the natural ones that we have in the forest are going into extinction. The kind of poaching approach and the packing is so much that it is even difficult to see them. So we want people to now begin to culture these snails, begin to grow the snails naturally. And when you grow these snails, you make a lot of profit, and it also has export value. Snail is demanded in all over the world. Many advanced countries are looking for snail. You can export them dry or frozen, prepare them, package them, and then sell them. The local market, the demand in the local market is also very high. You can cultivate these snail, harvest them, prepare them, and then sell them in supermarkets, either in cold forms or in processed forms. So these are areas where we want to encourage investors, young school leavers, because of the fact that the infrastructures that are needed are cheap and not too expensive to construct. To construct a snail house is not too expensive. So these are areas that even graduates who are looking for jobs can go into it and then make good money out of it. The feeding, the things that are required for feeding are also very cheap. So why is it that graduates are looking at all these opportunities and are just passing them by looking for jobs? These are areas that will give you good money more than any type of government employment that you may get. And then investors are also looking in these areas and are passing them by, going to look for complex businesses that we may not even have the expertise to run. Sometimes you employ staffs, you need to employ experts, you need to employ all manner of staffs to run the business kind of businesses that we are running. But in the snail farm, all you need is yourself, maybe a manager and people that will support you to farm your snail. So we want to encourage people to go into these areas, look at it very well, put it into practice, and make good money out of it. These investments are very profitable, and they will continue to remain profitable for a very long time. and they are reliable because the infrastructures are there. All you need to do is to keep on stocking. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe to this channel, share these videos, and make your comments. Thank you.